Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Casey. I'm with the Jerry Ambrose Veterans Council as a board member. JAVC was formed in 2014, and it is a 501c3 organization in good standing with the Arizona Corporation Commission. I'd like to introduce Pat Farrell. Pat is the president of JAVC, and he was the person that picked this up, bless his heart. He is a Navy veteran. I was going to mention the vessel he was on, but I'm not sure I'd get it right. Is it CV 62?
USS John F. Kennedy, 67.
67. I was close. Okay, 67. Thank you. He spearheaded the first ever and ongoing at-risk veterans stand downs and resource fairs since 2015. So when you think about it, we were formed in 2014, and like that, we're having stand downs and resource fairs. Pat is a member of the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame, the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, disa- disabled American veterans, and Elks. He enjoys a wide variety of friendships with so many people and in leadership. And Pat, you have the con.
Oh, welcome to this podcast, everybody. We resource with over 50 different organizations, agencies, individuals, okay, in order to help our all our veterans, but specifically the at-risk and homeless veterans. And there's no more at-risk veteran than those that are coming out of incarceration. I personally have worked in a county jail, which is the scariest place in the world, by the way, and a correctional and rehabilitation facility here in Kingman, which is a great place. But what this resource we're going to introduce you to provides is a way for the released inmate to not go back to the environment in which sent them there in the first place. It gives them a chance for a new start in life. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from Maddie here with the Inside Out Network. And Maddie, tell us about yourself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me today. So my name's Maddie. I'm the Director of Operations with the Inside Out Network. We are an Arizona-based nonprofit organization that works to help those who are transitioning out of incarceration connect with different resources in the community that can help. So what that means is in Arizona, all individuals in Arizona Department of Corrections state facilities, they can register with us as early as 11 months prior to their release and then begin connecting with providers. And how does that happen? Well, we have what's called a multi-sided platform, and basically just a fancy way to explain, how Uber and Lyft connects like riders and drivers, and eBay connects buyers and sellers. Our online platform connects returning citizens with service providers. So returning citizens can actually see the providers in their community. They can reach out to them via messaging through our platform, which the Department of Corrections does allow prior to release as well too. And then they can continue using their profiles post-release for as long as they need it to connect with help in the community. And then on the provider side, they can actually see those who are releasing, and they can even proactively reach out and initiate contact to returning citizens if they're wanting to do so. So both parties can see each other, both can connect using the platform in real time. All the returning citizens is optional for them, so they're all self-enrolled, and all providers are self-enrolled and self-registered as well too. So they have all signed themselves up specifically to serve this population. Within that, we do have, resource-specific providers or certain population-specific providers. So, for example, we do have organizations such as Manna House that help veterans specifically, and just other specific populations as well too. So I'm excited to show you a little bit about how the platform works. I think that's always really helpful for me just to be able to share my screen and show you what it looks like. We are in Illinois, Arizona, Oregon, and in Arizona is also we do try to be statewide. So we try to have resources all throughout the state. We are up to about 220 providers here in Arizona. and we, as a platform, over 13,000 returning citizens. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now, if that is okay. And I'm just going to show, I think I had to send a request, but I'm just going to show a brief example of what it looks like for a returning citizen to be searching and connecting with providers. So in this case, hopefully you guys can see my screen okay, but this is Tony Newman. So he's our demo returning citizen for the day. So once an individual has created their profile, which does not take too long, but they're able to customize it based on their needs, based on our 9 categories, which I'll go over in a minute, as well as their releasing location. So if Tony wants to search for help in his area, he can click on search providers by category, and he can see our 9 categories. He can then click on the category he wants to search. So say he's looking for employment and job training. And then up at the top, when he created his profile, this is the release address he had on his profile. So all his searching is going to be based on his release location. It will then default to all of those that help within 15 miles of his location, but he can change the radius to as small as 5 miles or as wide as 100 miles. On the right-hand side, you can see a map of where those different providers are located. And then on the left-hand side, he can see a list of different providers. So he can click on different organizations to learn more about them. Say he wants to check out the New Freedom Project, right? He can click on this organization. He can read more about where they're located, the services they provide in regard to our 9 categories. He can navigate to their website. He can give that organization a call. He can also message the organization. So if you would like to message, he can just click on message, a box pops up. He can type in his message and hit send, and that will go directly to the provider's ION profile as well. He can read some additional information about the organization. He can favorite. So if he wants to favorite them, he can just click on favorite, and then all of his favorites populate to a separate tab as well too. Prior to release, the website link is blocked, but post-release, of course, they have access to the website, and they do have access to messaging, both pre and post-release as well too. So Tony can search all 9 categories that exact same way, that he then has access to a favorites list, and any message he sends or receives are always going to be saved in his ION account. So for example, anything he does prior to release and he, any follow-up session he has after he initially registers, he will have access to his favorites and messages. And then as well, anything he does prior to release, he will have access to post-release as well too. So you can see all the messages, all the different message threads here. If you were to click on sample reentry provider, for example, all the content of the conversation that's just made up in this case, right? But that he's having with a provider is saved for him to reference back. He can then just type in a message. He can't come now. Can we try again next week? And then if I hit send, you can see that my bubbles as Tony are gray, the providers are white, and he can just keep track of what he's talking to. So like any other instant messaging feature we would see on different websites, that is how he can communicate. So there are some additional bells and whistles and things that Tony can do, but that's really the heart of his user experience, is just connecting with providers based on category of need relative to his release location, initiating contact and connection prior to release, and then he can continue that all post-release as well. If an individual does not hear about us prior to release, that's totally fine. Someone can register with us if they've ever been justice involved or justice impacted at any point in time. So even if an individual has been released for 5 years, for example, they can still register with us by just visiting our website. And then on the flip side, of course, like I said, providers, they can connect with other providers in the community, but they can also initiate contact. So on their end, they see a list of new and upcoming releases, and they're even able, like say in this case, they could see Tony's profile, and they could even reach out and initiate contact with him if they would like to do so as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now, but any questions about anything that I shared?
Is there any cost to the inmate to use this service?
No, so it's completely free for returning citizens always. Pre-release, post-release, it's free for them for life as long as they like it. For providers, it's free for the first year. And then there's a $100 annual fee after that. So just $100 a year if they'd like to continue, but that's just only for providers. Like I said, always free for returning citizens. So with that today, of course, one, we want to share the information because if there's any returning citizens or anybody who's ever been justice impacted that is listening today, you guys are welcome to register with us by visiting our site. And then we also are always looking to grow our provider network. So if there are any service providers really that serve this population in any way, you can kind of fit into one of our 9 categories. And we would love to have you listed with us as well too, so that returning citizens know you are available to them as a resource.
Okay, that works for me. What else you got for us, Maddie?
Yeah. That's really the bulk, like I said, of what I wanted to share. I would love, like I said, if any providers out there want to register with us, please let me know. My email, I can give that now if it's helpful to anybody. It's just Maddie, so MADDI at insideoutnetwork.net. So if anybody has any questions and would like to connect, returning citizen or provider, they are welcome to reach out to us. We would love to connect with you. We can even go into a little bit more of an in-depth demo if that's helpful. Whatever might be helpful for you or your organization, we would be happy to accommodate.
And what's your website?
Our website is insideoutnetwork.net.
Do you have a 800 number that somebody can call or something like that?
Yes, we do have a phone number that as well. I'm just going to make sure, and you can get a hold of any of our staff at this number too. So our phone number is 602-842-3705. And then I already gave my email, which is Maddie at insideoutnetwork.net. We also have a general support email of support@insideoutnetwork.net. And then if someone just wants to register without reaching out to us, by visiting our website, you'll see options to register as both a returning citizen and as a provider as well. And it kind of will walk you through the process. But again, you're also welcome to reach out to us. We're also on like LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram social media. So if anybody would like to stay in touch with what we're doing and the projects that we're working on, they can visit those pages as well too. We have links to our newsletters and different things that are we have going on. So
Okay. Anything you'd like to add?
I think that's mostly everything. I don't know, Kim, did you have any questions about anything?
No questions, but being a data person, I'm very impressed with the website. That's giving someone a lot of opportunity to ask questions, communicate with someone that they haven't even met yet, and they feel that they've got some help coming. I just think that's just wonderful. That's just wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, our goal is to help. We know a lot of people who are returning from prison, they really feel these feelings of invisibility and isolation. And our hope is to try and reduce that as they're coming out. But we know that sometimes just more information is not always helpful. So we're trying to really tap into the connection piece and just allowing individuals to not only receive information, but actually that have that connection component. And of course, it's allowing returning citizens to connect on their own behalf and advocate for themselves a bit, which many want to do. They just don't always have the opportunity to do. So we're really trying to tap into that personal agency and just helping them, find pro-social things in the community that they can really connect with.
Okay.
Well, good job. I would just close it off with a thank you to everyone being with us today. And those that are online, possibly watching us in the network. Pat?
I would let everybody know that the JAVC has signed up with the Inside Out Network. Okay. And we encourage everybody else that provides resources for people that have been incarcerated to sign up as well. It's kind of like a AZ 211 of resources. It's a great resource. And if a reminder, if you like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. Okay. We're trying to catch up with Taylor Swift.
Yes, and we always are. Anyway, the website is at the bottom of my frame. It says www.javc.org/donations, and then just make your selection check or credit card, either one you'd like. We can't do this without you, obviously, and we've been at this 11 years. We went right up to the top very quickly, and we're one of the premier organizations that provide this kind of assistance to our veterans. So keep us in mind. And that's all I have to say. I'll see you next time. Anything else, Pat?
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you, Kim.
Thank
Okay,
you
well,
guys so much for
next
having
time.
me. Thank
You
you.
bet.